Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today's Wednesday, April 13th. Is that enough energy for you, Lloyd?
Yes, great intro.
Thank you.
Great
We
intro.
are brought to you by Sterling Automotive.
Sometimes it just feels like you're confused about the date. You're like, well, Wednesday, April 13th. And then when you know it, Wednesday, April 13th, it's Mik'd Up. Brought to you by Sterling Automotive.
Just a little prepared. Yeah. You want to do the intro for me from now on?
Maybe we could switch it up. Like tag team it.
Yeah, we'll do it. Whatever. We got a great show today. LSU
I'm sure
baseball.
That's what they paid for.
Yeah, they paid for Floyd.
Yes.
They paid for Floyd. Big day today.
Kid can't even read.
LSU baseball, they're on the road. They're going to Arkansas. Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. Have a chance to take control of the SEC West. Talk about that. Preview the series. We can talk a little, not really talk. We're just going to mention the Pels basketball. Told y'all Zion wasn't playing.
There's your breaking news.
Told y'all he was playing. Obviously, the Pelicans saw what I said and said, fuck off. Yeah. He's not going to play.
We can't have Mikey being the one
maybe
breaking
Pels news. Maybe he plays the postseason. I don't know. The person who told me, great insight, but they don't run the Pelicans, so, whatever. Tommy Moffitt, the GOAT, the legend, Hall of Famer, in studio in the 12 o'clock hour. DJ Paulie G, Paul Gervase, the closer for the, Ace Gervais, which is his email, which is awesome, which is great. Big 6'10" motherfucker. Is not in studio, but he's doing video call. The guys are getting ready to leave, and they got excused from class today because they're traveling to go to Arkansas.
Is that the best? Does that happen for y'all often?
Yeah, when you leave, you're whatever. You know that they're gone, and teachers try to be dicks sometimes, and they're like, "No, it doesn't matter. You gotta be in school." Like, okay, well, I'm not gonna be there, so
yeah, no,
I don't know what you tell me. I don't know what you tell. I'm not gonna be in class today. Like, it's impossible for me to be in because we have a flight, and we charter flights because we are the show, and we have a lot of money in the baseball program, and we get to charter flights, which is great. So they're leaving at 12 o'clock. He is going to be on a video call at 11:15. So we only have about 12-ish minutes to kind of preview the game before we start asking him questions. What, you have a question? You had your hands up like you were going to say something.
Oh, I was going to say we did a little prep before. We got our warm-up throws in.
We got a little prep. The video call is working. It's nice. It's nice and clear and crisp. DJ Paulie G is fucking in his room, in his apartment, in his house.
Cutting up some beats.
Yep, he's not far from the stadium, which is a great place to be. He's right smack dab in the middle of everything. I'm not telling you where he lives, but...
Wait, is he really a DJ?
No.
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 Like he's in his apartment cutting beats. I'm just...
You ever heard of Paulie D?
Yeah.
DJ Paulie D?
DJ Paulie D.
Yeah, so DJ Paulie G. Yeah, we got it. Now we're back on the same page. Let's get into Let's get into this baseball preview. LSU goes to Arkansas, and Arkansas is 8-4 in conference. LSU is 7-5 in conference. LSU goes to Arkansas and wins the series against Arkansas in Arkansas. They are in first place in the West, based off of beating Arkansas. Now, they lost to Auburn. They're not going to have a tiebreaker against Auburn. Hopefully, Auburn slips up. I think that may happen. I don't think Auburn is, although that big first baseman they got is still balling.
Mashing.
Still, he leads SC in everything. Everything. He has like his OPS or his slugging percentage is almost 1,000 just by his slugging. So he's crushing it. But Auburn, they're on a three-way tie. LSU goes to Arkansas, beats Arkansas. They take control of the lead. Arkansas is a very good team. Arkansas is the best defensive team in the SEC. One of the better defensive teams in the country. They are not going to make mistakes. They're not going to get. They're not going to hurt themselves. They're not going to lose games. They're going to make the team that they are playing beat them. Their offense is kind of middle of the pack, and their pitching is kind of middle of the pack. But their defense is kind of where they hang the hat on, which is good because you don't give teams extra outs. You make the outs. You do what you got to do. They are extremely talented on the mound. I got a scouting report from some guys that know about Arkansas, some scouts out there that I know that have given me scouting reports. They have Connor. Let me get his name right.
Connor Nolan.
Connor Nolan. That is who it is. He's their Friday night guy, so he'll be pitching Thursday. He's their ace. He has a 2.4 ERA, sub 3. He's their guy. He has 60% breaking ball, so he's going to spin it. He's going to move it. He's going to try to keep these guys off balance. He's a righty. The next guy in their rotation is a lefty who's a freshman. This kid was supposed to be a first-rounder out of high school. He had Tommy John. He's just coming off of Tommy John from high school. This is his first year back. He's got a 4+ ERA, but obviously the talent is there based off of him supposedly supposed to be a first-rounder. And then the other Sunday guy, same thing, mid-4s is the ERA. But his fastball, from the reports that I've gotten, can touch 100. I feel like everybody can touch 100 now. Everybody's throwing cheese. Everybody throws hard. It's unbelievable. But my point in saying all of this is they have a rotation that may not have unbelievable numbers, but has really good talent, has the ability to put it together. And obviously left-handed pitching has given us troubles throughout the course of the year. We'll see how that goes. I think that LSU matches up very, very well with Arkansas. I think that our bullpen has been unbelievable. I think they've been carrying our pitching staff. You go look at all the numbers. LSU is number 2 in all of offensive stats. So they obviously can hit and score runs and do their thing there. You okay, bro?
I just got something in my eye, right when I was looking at you.
About making you cry?
No, I mean, I'm emotional about LSU baseball. Happy to finally get one on here.
They're making you cry, huh?
Yeah, finally get a guy on here, We've been swinging and missing, and now we get a guy that gets a ton of swing and misses on the show.
I can't wait, and that's what I'm getting to. So the bullpen has been carrying this team. LSU's offense has obviously been good. Their defense has not been good, but their bullpen has been carrying the staff, and you have your 2 starters that have been capable, right? They don't have unbelievable numbers, but they've been capable enough to at least get you through 5 innings, keep you in a situation to where you can mix and match and allow the bullpen to kind of carry you the rest of the way. Paulie G has been dealing. He's got a 2.4 something ERA, and he's K'ing guys out. He's showing a ton of energy. He's kind of bringing a lot of the momentum. There you go, 2.79 ERA, 19 innings, 34 strikeouts. That's great numbers. Guys are hitting 130 off of him. That's not that's really, really, really good, right? I'm willing to bet that 2.7 ERA is probably high based off of what he probably gave up some cheap runs, some bloopers and some infield singles that probably shouldn't have been runs. That's just kind of the way the game goes sometimes. But his ERA is probably even more inflated than it should be. We have him. I can't wait to ask him about what they expect for this weekend. Now, LSU baseball fans, I'm an LSU baseball fan. I am a former LSU baseball player, so I am not agreeing with what I'm about to say. But the reports of what I have been told is, now, and I've known this, I've known that Arkansas Stadium and their fans are crazy and they're packed and they're sold out, probably second behind LSU as far as capacity and the amount of people that go in there and attendance, the whole deal, right? Well, this is the quote. It's not from me. This is from my reporters. This may be the best crowd in the SEC. He goes, this person who's giving me all the scouting reports has said that they think Arkansas has surpassed LSU as the best fan base. Now, I'm saying that because it's the report I got. I'm also saying that because, hey, let's step our shit up. We are the best fan base. I know that. Let's fucking step it up. The guys are in second place in the SEC West. They're about to go to Arkansas, hopefully take the series from Arkansas and be the first place team in the SEC West, win the West. Let's fucking show the boys let's bring some energy over there.
Well, maybe this is why they like playing on the road. They've turned into road dogs. Maybe there's
but
a little too much pressure.
That to me is concerning. I don't like to hear that because we've prided ourselves on being the best fan base in the SEC. Now, look, listen. This could be biased. I don't know. But I do know that Arkansas's fans are absolute savages. I have stories from when I played there. I have stories from guys that I've played with that were assistant coaches there that Arkansas, they don't pull any punches. They don't give a shit. They are going for the throat, and they are going to attack you. And
see, I wouldn't even consider them as certainly not the first. I would have thought Ole Miss and maybe the Dude as the top 2. LSU is not on the top in my mind until it seems like LSU almost waits for postseason play or SEC play to really get ramped up.
Right, can't do that.
I didn't know that Arkansas was bringing the heat like
this. They have probably the biggest stadium out of all the teams as far as capacity. And maybe you look at Ole Miss and you look at Mississippi State and you look at those teams that have a lot of students, and those are kind of like the rabid fans of the students. But I think Arkansas goes from like the 75-year-old grandmas to the 16-year-old high school students. Like, I think that it's just like from top to bottom.
They're bought in.
Yeah, they're bought in. And they pay money for a nice stadium. They pay money to have seats in a nice stadium. And Arkansas has been good, and they've been very, very consistent. And I think that you're going to see that. It's a hard place to go out and play and win. But I think LSU is better than them. I think offensively we have more firepower. I think in the bullpen we have more firepower. Obviously, defensively, you have to make the plays. They swept last week. They had two good games defensively, one not so good game defensively. I think that LSU goes to Arkansas and takes the series. I think that we match up well enough.
Help or hurt? No game yesterday.
I think it helps. I think rumor is that some people are banged up. Apparently they're not banged up. Nah, hello, fam. I'm good. Morgan's good.
Oh, good.
Morgan's all good, apparently.
Is he run his own Twitter?
Yeah, of course.
Well, I don't know. He's talking in third person.
That's what he did. But I think that anytime you have rest, I think anytime you allow guys that, you're in the middle, you're right in the middle of the SEC, like whether you want to believe it or not, baseball still takes a toll on your body, right? You're not banging each other every day. You're not fucking tackling. You're not banging down low in the post. In basketball, you're not banging on your knees all the time. But it's constant games. You're playing more games than any other sports. Like, it's going to take its toll on you.
It's a grind.
Yeah, and so, I think anytime you get extra days off, I think that helps, especially the fact that this game's on a Thursday. So now you don't have to go from a Wednesday game to a Thursday game to a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. I think that's going to be good. I think that's going to be fine. So, yeah, to answer your question, I think it helps LSU.
Just rest-wise? Get to save some arms?
Rest-wise, and, look, just, calm down. Let's get our bags packed. Let's not rush out. And let's get on the flight and head over there. I think Arkansas has a game tonight.
Whoa.
Yeah, so it's going to be different because now they're getting there, and LSU's not going to be able to get on the field and do their normal pre-series workout on the field. That's usually when you get there on a Thursday. You have practice Thursday night, and then the game's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we'll see that. We'll see what happens with that. But I think LSU goes in this weekend. I think they take the series. I think they take control of the West, and I think they're right where they need to be in the grand scheme of everything.
Arkansas played a doubleheader last night against University of Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Oh, so they do not play tonight?
They do not play tonight.
They were supposed to originally play tonight, right?
Yeah, but they
moved it to a doubleheader. Okay, well, there you go. So they will have the practice day. So, that's really the only thing it would change is now you can get on the field and practice, which that didn't make any sense to me to schedule a game on a Wednesday and, when you're at home and then not give the team – I think you have to allow the team to play or practice before the game. I think that's the rules. Who knows? Every time I've been to Arkansas, this is no joke. Every time I've played in Arkansas, the tarp was always on the field.
Oh, they don't let y'all warm up?
Always a threat of rain on Thursday.
So
we never got to hit on the field. We're always in the cages. Yeah, it's bullshit. And we always beat the – actually, I say always.
One thing that does stand out about Arkansas, they are 20-3 at home.
Yep, I'll tell you.
25-7, 20-3.
The home field advantage is
real.
No joke.
Their left field, it's where the students is, and it's a little hill, and then it's flat for 500 feet, and then you bring your own ice chest and everything, and it's just electric.
It's electric.
Have you been out there?
I saw it last year during the when they hosted a regional. They did a camera view of it, and it was just bodies of just drunk kids, electric.
It's fun. Speaking of electric, great segue. We have DJ Paulie G is on the video call, blowing people away, yelling at dugouts, showing the energy. I'm fired up. He's a fan of the show. I'm a fan of his. I cannot wait to pick his brain, talk about his journey here, talk about what to expect this weekend. So welcome in, Paul Gervais. Welcome to the show. Fan of the show. Longtime listener of the show. Now guest of the show. Welcome.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, of course, man. How you doing? Are you packed up and ready?
Just about. I'm waiting for my last load of laundry to get done drying.
You're a last minute packer.
Yes, for sure.
Do they have, when I was here, we had like a checklist. We had like now, Maneri was way like over organized, right? So we had like a checklist of like all the stuff, and we had like a bag checklist. Like make sure you have this, and this. Do y'all get that, or is it all on you?
No, it's all on us. We kind of, they just tell us
lot of
what practice
responsibility
jersey to bring. Yeah, I think we can figure it out.
I hope so.
Yeah,
If you can't figure out how to pack your own bag, then we got more issues.
You need a glove
We have more issues.
and a hat, and I think you're good.
Hey, you'd be
Yeah, that's pretty
surprised.
much it.
I've forgotten my jersey before, but that's not on me.
That's on the clubby.
Yep.
Do they? Yeah,
Yep.
they're packed up. Yeah,
Yep.
just bring your glove. I
Yep.
always was scared I was gonna forget my glove. Then you can't really play.
But you always have the thought of like, damn, I forgot something. You always have
the
that.
worst. Already when you're on the bus,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
like, well, there's no chance now. Call mom.
All right, let's jump into this. I know you don't have much time. I appreciate you jumping on, giving us some time while in the middle of your packing, in the middle of you leaving. So y'all are flying out today. Y'all are flying or y'all busing?
We're flying.
Y'all are
We're
flying. Charter flight.
Yep.
Yeah, always charter, baby.
Oh.
Pull it right to the tarmac. Do you
Every
have to
time.
dress? Do y'all have to dress in suits, or y'all are in like?
It's like a travel suit. It's like
Damn.
purple sweatpants, purple pullover jacket.
Wow, y'all like y'all are purple people eater.
Yeah, there you
That's
go.
what y'all are. We had to wear a suit. We had to wear like actual suits. I kind of like the suit look, to be honest with you. I like walking in and showing up and like getting off the plane like, damn, like we look good. But I think that's the consensus now. Even in the big leagues, a
be
lot
comfortable.
of teams aren't traveling in suits near as much as they used to. But all right, talk to me a little bit about you. This is about you. This isn't about us. You are an absolute giant on the mound. You're 6'10". You came from a Division III school, transferred from a Division III school to a JUCO, and then JUCO to LSU. Give me a little bit about your journey. How did that happen? Were you one of the guys that were short and then all of a sudden shot up one summer and then started throwing really hard, or was it just like a work in progress and you had to kind of build on that and just kind of figure out how the body worked?
Well, yeah.
Oh no. Hold on. We lost you 1 second.
Good now?
Oh, we're back. We're back.
Sorry. Someone called me. I think it was a spam number.
Can't be doing that.
No.
Can't be doing that with this video
We gotta
calls.
get two phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, my bad. So, my senior year of high school, I was 6'7". So I was still pretty tall, but I don't think I really grew in or filled out my body yet. So I was throwing like 83, 85 miles an hour. I had zero college interest from anybody. And so I accepted a roster spot at a Division III school. It was the only people that talked to me.
Unbelievable. No, even scholarship. Do they give scholarships to D3s?
No scholarships.
Love of the game.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Keep going.
It was, and then so after my freshman year, I didn't get that much better. I was like 86, maybe topping. And that summer, I talked to my dad, and he was like, "Hey, man, like this isn't cheap. It's a private Division III school with no scholarships. Like, if I'm gonna fund this, then I'm gonna need you to work harder because I'm not gonna watch you sit on the bench." And I was like, "You know what? That's fair." And, so
That makes sense. Okay. Let me get to work.
That summer, I did 2-a-days every day for the entire summer, and I worked with my mechanics coach back home, Brandon Young, and we pretty much just redid everything to more of the 3/4 arm slot, low 3/4 that you see now instead of over the top. And I went from 85 to 92 in 2 months.
Hey.
And
So you weren't doing anything
then
at all, dude. You were barely working.
No, then I went to the first junior college that spring, and I had a lot of control problems. I was in my head a lot every time I'd see a radar gun or scout or anything like that. And then when COVID happened, before that happened, I was going to have to go somewhere after that second year because I didn't have any more junior college eligibility. And thankfully, COVID actually saved my baseball career.
Wow, that's a good way. Sometimes it's been a lot of the opposite. This is a positive.
Yeah, so they gave me that extra year of JUCO eligibility, and I transferred to my second junior college, Pitt Community College, and I really feel like I fell in love with the game again over there. I had a lot of success. Fastball jumped up to 9.
Wait,
You got another call.
another call?
Oh,
Oh no! Wait.
I'll have to reconnect.
We have to call him back.
Oh, he's back.
He's back. Can you hear us?
This guy's blowing us up.
Wait a minute. Still don't hear you. Popular guy. Very popular guy.
That's what happens whenever they play ball. Look, he'll probably reconnect with us here.
Yeah.
Here we go. He's back. He's back.
Paulie? Hello?
Oh, yeah. Paul.
I don't know. I can't tell what's going on here.
He looks more
Well, I hear
frustrated.
him.
Yeah,
I hear him now.
him. Call Paul.
Better call Paul.
Paulie.
There we go.
There he's
we
back.
go.
All right. Let's go.
Kate Doty's blowing up my phone.
Oh,
Tell Kate Doty to come on the damn
Yeah,
show,
yeah.
too. That's bullshit. I'm on an interview right now, and he's ruining it. He's
sabotaging
ruining. He's
the show.
sabotaging the show. I think. I'm a huge Kate Doty supporter. I'm a huge fan of his. I don't understand how he doesn't get talked about enough. He doesn't get talked about enough. I don't understand why nobody talks about him. He's gonna be a first round pick. He's been balling. He's been leading the team in all of these. I'm like, I don't understand why people aren't giving him his flowers. I try to give him his flowers. I'm done sucking up to him. I'm waiting for him to come on the show. So you gotta be a positive influence and make him come on.
Three-way call.
I got you.
Yeah.
He's my roommate. He probably left some in
Perfect.
the house.
Perfect.
He's my roommate. So
Oh, so he might have left a belt to her glove.
There we go. There
Yeah.
we go. See, we just talked about
there you
that.
go.
All right, finish going on. I know
Yeah,
this
sorry.
is it. Yeah.
So yeah, I transferred to Pitt Community College, and I just started having fun again, more fun. I really all my stuff kind of clicked. I started just commanding the zone and going out there and just attacking hitters instead of being timid. And fastball velo went up again. And when Coach Dunn called me last March, I believe, I was kind of shocked because I didn't think I was anywhere near that level because I was still trying to get mid-major teams to talk to me at LSU. No, not at LSU, but at Pitt.
Yeah.
And so I'm having the time of my life now. I bypassed the draft to come play for Coach J.
So did you get drafted?
Because no, I didn't get drafted. I turned down money.
Oh, nice.
But I didn't get drafted
Nice.
because I wanted to have this experience to come play here for a big time program, and I'm having the time of my life.
I can tell. I'm a proponent of showing energy and being passionate and screaming and doing all this stuff, and I love when you do that. I love that you come in the back ends of ball games and you shut the door, and obviously you're 6'10", so you already have the presence on the mound, but you have that low 3/4 arm angle. It kind of reminds me of, you may know him, Lewis Coleman. So he's not obviously as tall as you, but Lewis used to throw over the top, didn't have velocity, same thing, kind of found that low 3/4. Now he threw across his body, but he still had that low 3/4 arm angle. He started throwing low to mid-90s, and that's kind of when he took off, similar to what you. So I saw the other day you closed the game out and you hit 96. What have you gotten your velocity up to? Because look, being 6'10", being as tall as you are, it's very hard. There's not a lot of guys that are as tall as you that throw as hard as you. People think, oh, just because you're tall, you're going to throw hard. That's not the case.
Yeah. I've been up to 97 this year. I hit 97 against Auburn in that bases loaded situation.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Remember that?
the hardest I've hit this year, but I've consistently sat around 3 to 5 when I've been out there.
With funky arm action is
And attitude.
I love it. What do you expect going into Arkansas this weekend? Get a little bit into the game, the kind of the matchups. Obviously you've never played in Arkansas. Playing there from experience is a pretty rabid fan base. Arkansas obviously is the number one team in the West. Y'all have an opportunity to go there, take the series from them, and take control of the West, which before last week, people were, worried about, okay, is going into last week, we understood that, okay, these next two series is probably going to be the make or break part. They're either going to make the big jump or they're going to have their work cut out for them. And y'all went ahead, y'all are up to the task, y'all understood the assignment, and y'all swept last week. Now you go back on the road, which I feel like y'all are road dogs, and y'all go back to Arkansas. I think y'all are going to take the series. Y'all have a chance to take control of the West. Give me a little bit of the scouting report on Arkansas, and what can you expect from their stadium and their fans?
Well, yeah, we're going in. We're expecting a hostile environment. I mean, every time LSU's been the big name in the SEC West for I don't know how many years. So the fans are going to bring it every time we come to another opponent's ballpark. So like you said, yeah, about being road dogs, we go into the stadiums and we're like, everyone in this dugout, that's it. That's the only people here that want us to win. So we just got to use that as fuel and use the crowd to energize us because nobody is obviously rooting for us. And as far as a scouting report, these guys can swing it. Obviously, they're ranked number 6 in the country for a reason. But for me, what I've seen is a lot of their guys they try to hit a lot of homers because their ball flies at Arkansas.
It flies over there.
Yeah. So for me, just being able to execute my game plan, which is fastballs up in the zone and just go after guys, and I think I'll be able to have a lot of success.
I agree. I think they play great defense, so that doesn't really affect you necessarily because of you're on the other side of it. But they do have a lot of rabid fan bases. Last Friday, I want to kind of like rewind to last week, and y'all had a enormous comeback, won that game on Friday, and a lot of people are talking about that maybe being the jump start that the team needed. I've seen that whenever y'all's backs are against the wall, in Florida, whenever things got a little chippy, and then last weekend when things got a little chippy, it seems that the energy increases and y'all play better. And Friday was kind of one of those games, right? It was 2-1. Y'all ended up having Travinsky had an unbelievable bat, got on base, and y'all won the game. Did you feel the energy and like the momentum of the season shift there, or did y'all see that coming?
Let's see. I'd say like right there in that 9th inning, once they hit Stevenson and Trey came up to the plate, I was like, all right, we got a really good chance to win this game because I was in the bullpen and during all this, so I wasn't in the dugout. And I got the fans behind me telling me I'm playing catch for no reason. I'm not going in the game. There's no chance.
Right.
And then Trey gets the base hit after the wild pitch, and we take the lead. And our bullpen coach, Drew's just like, get on the mound, like telling me to stop celebrating. So, like, I got to relock in. And then Dylan hits the homer, and I'm like, all right, now we go. We got a cushion. I'm just going to go out there and attack guys. And thankfully, it went 1, 2, 3. But I did feel like after that game, we're like, hey, we're those guys. Like what Jock Peterson said, not exact quote from the postseason, but like we are good enough to go into these places and beat the best teams in the country. And then I think we just rode that into Saturday with especially our bullpen, our pin dog mentality. As soon as Blake came out of the game on Saturday, we were like, we got to take this game over. And we just hand the ball off to the next guy, Trent, Devin, Coop, Rez, and then me, just picking each other up and trying to put up as many zeros as possible because we know that offense can strike at any moment.
Let's get into the bullpen though, because I think everybody if you go look just strictly, and obviously baseball is more of like a hey, what do you see with your eyes? Not just stats don't really always tell all the answers. You look at the offense; they're number 2 in the offense behind Tennessee in literally every category, right? You look at the pitching staff; the pitching staff is 3 and 4 in the SEC, depending on the stats, ERA and being effective, right? But the pitching staff is being carried by the bullpen. Give me a little bit of insight into because I know the bullpen is like a whole different like section, right? Like you kind of have your own. You have a different mentality out the bullpen. The bullpen guys are always a little bit closer to each other because they all have the same types of roles. You never know when you're going to pitch, when you're going to come in. Kind of give me a little bit of insight on the bullpen. What is the I guess, one, the mentality of the bullpen, and 2, what is like the chemistry like within the bullpen?
Oh, our chemistry is great, man. And we got Trent Vittmeyer. I've said this as much as I could.
Trent,
he's our leader. He's our leader out there.
He's been there. He's 100 years old.
Guy. Yeah. Fifth-year guy, and all he does is go out there and put up zeros. It doesn't have to look fancy. That's all he does. So, and as a bullpen, I mean, yeah, we call ourselves the Pen Dogs because going into this year, we were the question mark. Like, are we going to be good enough to help this team win? And I think we've done more than enough so far to give our team a chance to win night in and night out, and then hopefully we can keep that momentum up.
What I've noticed is y'all don't really have assigned roles, right? Like, y'all don't have a guy who is necessarily the closer or the setup guy or first guy out the pen. It is, Jay seems like he's kind of matching up with the lineups and based off of the situations. Do you like that? And to me, being a baseball player, it's kind of hard. Like I've seen the bullpen, it's kind of hard to embrace that, right? The bullpen guys want to have their,
somewhat of a routine.
want to have their role and their routine and understand when they're coming in. And since you don't have it, it's been nice to see that y'all are embracing that. Has that been an adjustment period, or y'all knew going in that's kind of how it was going to be?
We were pretty sure that was how it was going to be going in, but and as far as like the roles go, we just want to win. That's all we care about. We've had Coop close games, Rez close games, I've closed games. I've came in the second inning, I've came in the ninth inning. We've had so many different situations thrown at us, and I think a lot of guys who obviously were all starters in high school are getting used to the fact that, hey, you're going to be sitting down for 3 hours and then we're going to need you ready in 5 minutes to go in the game. So it's we're starting to not need a routine as much, and we're starting to all like just click together. And I think what you saw at Mississippi State is something that we hope to do every weekend.
Mikhail's a Friday night guy now, or the Thursday night guy this week. Blake Money is the second guy, and then the third game is y'all have been piggybacking two of the younger guys and then just kind of mixing it together. But the piggyback has like gotten you through 7 innings the last couple games or last couple weekends. Do y'all? I guess what I want to ask is how hard was it for those young guys to understand? Okay, this is what I need to do, and the bullpen has taken on a extended role these last few weeks. Do you expect that to continue? And I know you're not going to say no, but would you like to say, okay, we have 2 of our guys pitching 7 innings, and then we have these 2 young guys piggybacking on Sunday? How important has that been for the bullpen to have these 2 young guys on Sunday step up and get you through 7 innings and kind of save the bullpen a little bit?
Oh, yeah, those guys are huge. And at the beginning of the year, they weren't pitching that much, Sammy and Grant. And they were pissed off. I mean, Sammy shoved in inner squads all spring. So did Grant, and they were like frustrated not getting in the game. But once they first got that opportunity, as you can see, they grabbed it. And Grant Taylor, I think he's going to be a superstar. I mean, he got 4 pitches, 97 miles an hour as a freshman. I think he's probably the most talented pitcher I've ever played with. And then you got Sammy D, who's goes out there and all he does is throw strikes and put up zeros. So if we can get 7 innings from 2 freshmen every Sunday in SEC play, then I think we're going to win a lot of games.
That's kind of like the new age. That's kind of like the new age baseball, right? Like you looked at the Rays in the big leagues; they kind of have an opener, and then they start piggybacking. That's kind of what Jay's doing. How has Jay's philosophy? And obviously, you didn't get to play with Maneri and those guys, but they recruited you. How has Jay's philosophy been different than other coaches you've played for, and how has it been? Is this something that you enjoy, and is his personality something that you like being around?
Oh, yeah, I love it, man. And, yeah, Jay, this is the 4th coaching staff I've played for in college. And pretty much everywhere else, I've gone into the fall pretty much knowing what my role was going to be and what I was going to be able to contribute to the team. And it's stayed pretty consistent through most seasons. But this year, I mean, it was wide open. You look at last year, you lost Jaden Hill, Elena Marceau, AJ Labus, the 3 weekend starters. And we didn't know if Devin or Mikhail were going to come back until late July. So when I talked to Jay, he told me basically on that first phone call was, hey, dude, it's wide open, and I'm going to give you a chance to just go out there and win a job. And that's all I can ask for. And I can say he's definitely delivered on that, and everybody's getting their chances. And I feel like we've all really gelled as a staff, and we're starting to hit our stride.
No doubt, dude. Well, I'm not going to keep you much longer, man. I know you got to go get your stuff out the dryer and get your stuff back. I don't know if
Dugas' stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if any of the dudes or the guys in here have any questions for you.
I do. If it's cool.
Go for it. I'd love for you to.
Yeah, plenty.
Obviously, y'all have talked about you just said that the bullpen is like the pin dogs. Y'all have been kind of running with this road mentality. Where did the thumbs down come from? Like the thumbs down on the dugout come from even in the home stadium? And is that something that y'all are going to travel with? Or is it just something to kind of get the guys going?
I think it was just something to get us going. We're not doing it anymore. Jay banged it when we lost the Auburn
There we
series.
go.
So we're not doing that anymore. But I think it was just something to get the guys fired up and something new.
Hey, tell me this. So when we left on the road, our first we had y'all practice on the field, obviously, right? The night before the series starts. Then you have pregame. So when we were there, our pregame meal. Now it's probably different. Now everybody talks about nutrition. Our pregame meal Thursdays before the Friday series was we all had pizza. So everybody had their own individual pizza, and that's what we always looked forward to. Like you'd go down there, you go and you'd have like your fun like BP, and then you go to the hotel, and the boys would all get together. And whether it's something they're watching on TV or a game, everybody would bring their pizzas, and you would hang out, and you would just like shoot the shit, right? Like you'd be together and like whatever. Do y'all do anything like that? 1 and 2. What is y'all's meal when y'all get to the road?
Normally on the road, we eat a lot of steak and a lot of pasta.
Wow.
So they take care
Carb
of us
load,
for
baby.
sure.
Oh, boy, the Yankees,
had,
Jesus.
Jeez, that's times have changed. Times have changed.
This guy's eating Little Caesars and thinking it's the best thing ever.
They're getting Ruth Chris medium rare plus with the nice little mashed
blue
taters
cheese
on
crumble.
the side, little Caesar salad.
I had plenty of pizzas in my junior college days and Division III days and the long bus trips. But no, I mean, yeah, we all sit down, eat together, talk about what we want to do. Leaders do a lot of talking, obviously, Dugas, Vittmeyer, who we're hoping we can get Gavin back quickly. And, I mean, we all, I don't know, we kind of just like embrace this like us against the world mentality. Obviously, we have a ton of fans that support us, but I think us using that as a mindset helps us go in, and we're just not scared of anybody. We just attack. That's what Jay always tells us, to go attack the other team. So I think that we've all embraced that, and I think it's really showing, especially lately.
No doubt, man. It looks. You can see it. You can see the difference in the team. You can see the difference in the mentality of the team. You can feel that it has been more aggressive, which is good. And I think we all knew that it was going to come. It's just a matter of when it was going to come. Now y'all are going to put yourselves in a position this weekend, go there, take the series, put yourself in a position to take control of the West. So I'm not going to keep you any longer, dude. I'm going to let you go and pack your stuff up. I appreciate you coming on. I can't wait to watch you go and shove it up their ass. I can't wait to watch you yell in their face because you're 6'10". You can do that, and you can look down on these guys. But, man,
Let's
keep
touch
doing
98.
Yeah, keep doing what you're doing, bro. Next time, whenever y'all come back in town, I want to have you in studio. We'll get more in depth. We'll talk more about it. And, bro, talk us up to the guys, man. Get the guys in here. Like, fuck.
I told you I'm trying.
Yeah, I know.
Got class in the morning.
Well, look, we can go a little longer. I know.
There's 500 people in those classes.
Yeah, I know.
You can do whatever
Mondays
you want.
are supposed to be the off day. I know Jay doesn't like giving y'all many off days, but Mondays are supposed to be the off day. After class, we'll go later. Come in, like in studio, video calls, whatever. I just want to be able to give you guys a platform to be able to talk, laugh, joke, do whatever y'all want to do, and make it kind of a different type of interview. So we'll get it going, though. I appreciate you stopping in, dude. Good luck. Be safe. And I'll be watching this weekend.
Sir, thank you guys for having me.
All right, bro.
Absolutely.
All right, see you.
Later. Go Tigers. Skull fuck 'em.
He's great, dude. He's a rock star. Rock star. I was gonna I didn't want to go right to break.
I know.
Yeah.
It sounded like you were talking off air, so I was like, oh.
No. We're on air. Hot mic.
Hot mic.
Mic'd up is
Mic'd
hot.
up.
Mic'd up is hot. He's great, dude. I'm a fan of his. He speaks well. He knows what he's talking about. He's been through the ringer, dude. Like that's going to D3 to JUCO and being in this position now where he's one of the first guys out the pen. That is
What a wild ride.
yeah,
Epic
that's
story.
a great ride. And he has a chance, a legitimate chance of being in the big league. I said earlier in the year, I said he looks like he's a backhand of the bullpen guy in pro ball, and he's going to be in the big leagues. And I hope he does, man, because I'm a fan of his. I think I'm a fan of his story. I think it's going to be awesome.
Well, and imagine where he was just like before the Shriners match up at the Juice Box, where he was just excited to be going to that. Now he's like, oh shit, my kind of baseball career has turned around. Like we didn't expect, like at least I didn't.
I love the energy too.
Yeah, but I didn't expect
it.
that from him.
Yeah.
Whenever I read about his story and saw where he was coming from, I was like, Oh, that's nice. He finally got to LSU. I thought that would be the final destination.
You didn't think he was as
I
talented?
didn't think he was going to be able to bring it like this.
Oh, he's bringing
And
it.
so
Touching 97, like, I'm sure the stronger he gets, the more he pitches, he may be sitting, 95, 97 instead of sitting 93, 95. Who knows? But, like, a guy like that has been on this trajectory and has that much size and kind of figured out his mechanics, like, dude, the sky's the limit. So I'm looking forward to it. And his roommate's Doty. So that means we got to get Doty.
You got an end. Well, Doty, he wouldn't leave the man alone. Caught him twice.
Hey, that's props to you for getting the video call good enough to where even when someone is calling them, that we're able to get them back on there. We didn't panic.
No panic.
It wasn't our fault. That was just them. You had to get the speaker back working, but.
I got to when you got to see Gervais. I saw the frustration in his hand. He was mad. He's like, "No, don't call me right now."
Right.
So
I respect it.
Exactly. Got what we wanted.
But.
And we can do multiples.
And we can do multiples. We'll start testing that with when Jay Mitch is on and doing stuff like that. But we're gonna take a little bit of a break, reset, kind of get back on track of what we need to talk about, and then prep for the GOAT coming in, Tommy Moffitt.
I'm proud of them for embracing this road dogs mentality. It looks like they got a little FU in them now.
You can see it though.
Yeah.
You can see that they play better on the road. They're away from home. They're with the boys, and you can see that. And I'm glad that I'm glad I got to hear it from him. Like, hey, this is what we are embracing. We are doing that, and maybe this, maybe the fans at LSU have a lot of fire on their ass. Like, hey, we need to be more energetic. Like, we need to bring more energy to the stand. So. I don't know. We'll see. All right, we'll be back in a minute. You are watching Mik'd Up, brought to you by Sterling Automotive. We'll reset and be right back. Mik'd Up is brought to you by Law Offices of Lance Beal. Call them today, 337-991-6263. They know what it takes to win. Their practice areas include personal injury, small business, family law, estate planning, with an emphasis in construction law. Your choice for reliable representation. 337-991-6263. Mik'd Up is brought to you by Law Offices of Lance Beal. Call them today, 337-991-6263. They know what it takes to win. Their practice areas include personal injury, small business, family law, estate planning, with an emphasis in construction law. Your choice for reliable representation. 337-991-6263. Our What's for Lunch segment is brought to you by Doe's Eat Place. Maybe the best burger in town. If you're not looking for lunch, you're looking for dinner, go check out Doe's Eat Place. They have unbelievable choice of meats. They have unbelievable tamales. They have a great atmosphere, great vibes. If you're looking for a homey Louisiana type of atmosphere, but you're looking for high quality food, Doe's Eat Place is your spot. Go in the back bar, sit at the bar, have a couple drinks, watch some games, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the vibes. Check out Doe's Eat Place, the best place in Baton Rouge to get your meats. Hey y'all, it's Mikey from Mik'd Up. I want to talk a little bit about my friends down at Sterling Automotive in Lafayette. They're locally owned and operated for over 25 years. They have 13 locations, 4 in Opelousas, 5 in Lafayette, 1 in Broussard, 2 in Jennings, 1 in Crowley. They sell any type of car you could possibly find: Buicks, GMC, Ford, Lincoln, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Hyundai, Genesis, and Kia, along with 5 pre-owned locations. They have over 1,500 cars in inventory on site. Unbelievable service, unbelievable people. If you're like me and you're on the go, they can sell and they can ship you cars up to 200 miles. Unbelievably convenient. Again, my friends down at Sterling Automotive in Lafayette, go to their website at saveatsterling.com. Awesome people, go check them out. Welcome back to Mik'd Up, brought to you by Sterling Automotive. We are going to bullshit with each other for about 15 minutes until Tommy Moffitt gets in here. If you have any questions that you want us to ask Tommy Moffitt, put them in the chat, put them on Twitter, hashtag Ask Tommy.
The Tommy
Mafia. I just made that up. Should I say Ask Tommy? I don't know. Is that the hashtag we want to use?
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Then really, you can put in the chat, get in the chat, have some fun with this. I'm going to have fun with Tommy, make him open up a little bit about some things, get some loose, do whatever. You know, his son gave me some questions to ask to make sure that make him laugh. But he is the GOAT. He always would bring the energy. Even when he wasn't even my strength coach. He was the football strength coach, and we would go work out, and you always knew what you were getting into because you could always hear him screaming. You could always hear him yelling. It takes a special person to be able to do that.
You got to bring the juice every day as a strength coach, I would imagine.
Every day.
And you've seen the influx of younger strength coaches as college football has kind of changed. But Tommy was holding on to that thing, and energy was never the question with him.
There he is.
There he is.
Wow, he came in early. Look at him, the GOAT. The GOAT, Tommy Moffitt.
I bet he shakes hands hard. I'm nervous.
I feel like
Good,
I
I
avoided
avoided it. Yeah, yes. That's yours. You can sit here, you can sit there.
Sit wherever you want, coach.
You can put the headphones in, you can take them out, you can do whatever you want.
Whatever you want. Microphone's the most important thing.
Yeah, microphone as long as it's by your mouth.
Yeah. All right, so I can do this right here.
You can do that if you want it.
I mean, this sounds pretty. I mean, this is pretty
Big
cool
time.
right
That's
here
the
to
first.
have.
Yeah, you look good. You can see yours. You can listen to
Yeah.
yourself.
Well,
All right, so I was gonna have this intro ready, but you snuck in here. You're ready, but Hall of Famer,
Ooh,
the GOAT of strength and conditioning, the man who brought more juice than anybody that I know, Coach Tommy Moffitt. Thank you for being here.
thank you for having
coming.
me. Thank you for.
I have
having
a million questions I want to ask you. I
Okay.
have a million things. I know. Look, I know you personally. I know that you can talk a long time.
me. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try not to lead you into a 2-hour
Okay.
interview. I'm gonna be respectful of your time. Let's just jump right into it. Right.
All right.
Your journey. You went from, was it John Curtis to Tennessee
Yep.
to Miami to LSU,
Right.
right? You still now your home is here in Baton Rouge. You raised your kids in Baton Rouge. Talk to me a little bit about the journey. How did you get started? How did you know strength and conditioning was what you wanted to do? And you've grown into becoming basically the face of strength and conditioning, and just kind of changing the game.
Okay, so growing up as a kid, I had older brothers that would lift weights in the garage. My dad built like dip bars, curl bars, bench press bars. So we had a gym in our basement, and my oldest brother was the local boxing coach for AAU. So we would go from boxing to weightlifting to throwing rocks in the neighborhood, and just being outdoors and being physical was just part of growing up. So when I got to junior high school, I had this, I'd never formally lifted weights. Everything that we did was in the garage, just playing around with weights. So when I got to junior high, my junior high school football coach, Wayne Shoemaker, was big into weightlifting. And so he had us as, 7th and 8th graders, staying after school in the afternoon, lifting, squatting and bench pressing and just doing whatever that he felt like we needed to do. And then I got to high school, we continued training, and back then the magazines, Muscle and Fitness and Flex magazine, Joe Weider and all of that stuff was huge. Arnold was the man, but there were other guys too, like this old guy Franco Colombo, who was a power lifter, bodybuilder, in the wide world of sports would telecast weightlifting. And Alexia, the great, I don't know if anybody here knows who Alexei is, but he was the great Russian weightlifter, the greatest lifter of all time. So it was just a natural progression. so that when I got to college, my collegiate strength coach at Tennessee Tech, Jack Williamson, just created an atmosphere in the weight room that I wanted to be a part of. And he and I would talk training, and that was right at the beginning of the National Strength and Conditioning Association. So they printed these journals, and I would sneak into his office and steal his journals, and he would beat me up after, and so it just led me down a path. Looking back on it, I don't think I would have become anything else but a strength coach. And so when I graduated from college, of course, I didn't play pro football, which was they missed out.
I agree. I think you would have brought the juice in football.
Yeah. So when I graduated, my dream was to go back and coach at my local high school in Middle Tennessee. That was my dream. But I applied for jobs and just couldn't get a job. I had no experience except for my time at Tennessee Tech. So my roommate in college was a John Curtis graduate, Coach Manny Michel, and who was on our staff here at LSU as a senior analyst. But Manny called me out of the blue one day and said, "Hey, our strength coach left to go to Tulane. We have a position open. Would you be interested in it?" And I said, yeah. So he gave me JT's number, and I just kept calling JT, really. And in fact, the people that interviewed for the job besides me were way more qualified than what I was. And I just kept calling JT and kept calling JT. And finally, he gave me the job because he got tired of me calling. And
persistence, baby.
Yeah, persistence, man, paid off. And so that led into the position at the University of Tennessee. I met the coaches during recruiting and stuff like that. And so that led me to the job at Tennessee as an assistant strength coach. And I worked my way up to associate head coach. And I was there, and I knew I wanted to be a collegiate strength coach then. And because I coached football at Curtis, and at one time Coach Fulmer had offered me an opportunity to interview for the tight end job. But I just decided that strength and conditioning is where I wanted to stay. So we were in Miami. I met Larry Coker at the time, who was our OC at Miami. He introduced me to Butch Davis while we were there. Tennessee was playing Nebraska in the Orange Bowl. And Miami had not made a bowl that year before, so Butch fired the strength coach. And I interviewed the day before the game for the job at Miami, took it, was there for 2 years, and then I was blessed with the incredible opportunity to come coach here with Nick Saban, and the rest is history. I could go, my career, I've never had a bad job. Every job that I had, I worked for JT Curtis, Philip Fulmer, Butch Davis, Nick Saban, Les Miles, and Coach O, and I never had a bad job. It was just an unbelievable career.
It's amazing. I didn't know. I knew that you went to all those places. I guess I forget the names.
Yeah.
Of the schools that were there. And I'm like, damn, Fulmer and Butch Davis and Coker. And I'm like, man, that's even JT Curtis.
That Miami team that you got to be a part of is unbelievable.
So I'm covered with goosebumps right now because although the coaches, and I was coach when I was in college. Gary Patterson was our linebacker coach. Yeah. Dick Bumpus, the great defensive coordinator. Dennis Francione, who was head coach at Alabama and Texas A&M, he was our offensive coordinator. So, the coaches that I coached by, that I was coached by, and the coaches I coached with were one thing. But then when you look at the players that I had the opportunity to coach throughout my career, it's just been mind-boggling. And I coached Peyton Manning and Joe Burrow.
Right. Yeah. Two of the best of all time.
Yeah.
Right there.
So having that opportunity and being around such good quality people has just been a dream come true.
Did you have guys that, whether it was a coach, a strength coach, or whatever, that brought the energy that you bring, or did you always have that type of mentality, or did you have to learn that, or was it something that when you were playing somebody had it and you're like, okay, that's the sauce right there. That's kind of what I need, because you have to have as a strength coach, you have to be on every single day because if you don't have energy, nobody's gonna have energy. Because you know how it is. 6 a.m. You don't want to work out. What you're saying? Rain, shine, piss, blood, or flood?
Yeah, that's close. Rain, shine, sleet, or snow, mud, blood, piss, and flood. Didn't matter.
Didn't matter. What you
Yeah. So, my dad was the type of guy that woke up every morning singing, oh, what a beautiful morning, oh, what a beautiful day. So my dad was super optimistic, and enthusiastic. And as a kid growing up, I got my ass beat, for being that guy,
Yeah.
Always into something. High school, same thing, man.
It's not your fault. You had brothers.
Yeah, a lot of brothers, my high school wrestling coach, Randy Thomas, who just got inducted into the Tennessee chapter of the United States Wrestling Federation or whatever, was just an incredible coach. And to be around him on a daily basis, like, he didn't talk about, pinning your guy or beating your opponent. He talked about dominating him and, like, making him bleed. Like, he was, make him pay, And then he was the classic guy that always made our opponent or the guy that I was wrestling out to be the villain. It was always good guy versus bad guy. And then my collegiate strength coach. And, so I think it's just a combination of growing up around a household with people that were super positive, beginning with my dad, my mom, my older brothers, that, my sister, just being around positive people and being, growing up in the day, like, so we had a gravel driveway, and for a long time, the street in front of my house was gravel. So, we grew up like rock fights, and there wasn't video games. I mean, we grew up, we'd go to the railroad tracks down at the end of the road. There was like a pasture, and we'd go through the pasture, go down to the railroad tracks, and throw rocks at each other, that we picked up off the railroad tracks. So that's just how we were raised, Yep. And we grew up outside. My mom, we'd get up in the morning, go outside. My mom would lock the door. And that's how we grew up. So I just brought that energy and enthusiasm. And, there's cliches that, actions trigger feelings, like feelings trigger actions. And positive feelings yield positive results, and negative feelings yield negative results. And that is true.
No doubt.
And it's been tested over time to be a fact. And what I used to tell my staff is that we have, as coaches, we had to calculate an attitude that we wanted our team to have, and we had to have that attitude first. If I went into the weight room and I'm sullen and downtrodden and worried about, something other than what was taking place right now, then that's how my team was going to be. And so that's how we did it, man. We brought the juice every day, and it's fun like that.
Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. I was in the baseball team. We come in and I could hear you, and I'm like, damn, that's giving me juice.
Yeah,
like I'm ready.
And so that's what I liked about what we had at LSU is that, it wasn't just the football team. It was football and baseball and softball and volleyball and soccer. It didn't matter who was in there training. We were all bringing the juice all the time, and that made going to work fun.
No doubt.
I would talk to other strength coaches would call me, and they would complain for 20 minutes, before they ever got to question how. And I'd hang up the phone and say to myself, man, I'm glad I'm not working at veterans.
Yeah, right.
So, it's just.
Is that what you think? My next question was going to be like, what do you think separated the program the programs that you were in?
Yeah.
Do you think that was the biggest separator? Is that type of mentality and that energy and that stuff that you brought, and it just was kind of contagious? Because you could see it, right?
Yeah.
Like you could see it from all the other coaches.
Well, yeah, and I think it. We had the goal that I always wanted was to have a great strength and conditioning program, where it wasn't about me, but it was about everyone that was a part of the program. And it didn't matter if it was going to be the swimming and diving team or the football team, or if I was working with a group of walk-ons or the kickers. It didn't matter. As strength coaches, you're in the service industry, and it is our responsibility to train them. They were not there for us. We are there for y'all. And so that was my mentality, and I felt as if it didn't, again, because, in strength and conditioning, it's easy to focus all your energies and all your effort on the football team. And then all you had then was a good football team or a good strength and conditioning program for football. But as a football strength coach and the director of the department, we needed baseball to do well. We needed basketball to do well. And it helped me recruiting coaches. If I could say to a young strength coach, if you come here and help us with baseball, we're going to give you an opportunity to work with football. If you'll come here and help us with volleyball or beach volleyball, we're going to allow you to work with the football team. So we were able to build a culture among our strength and conditioning staff that didn't only benefit us, but those guys, and there was over 61 young men and women that came into our program that left here and went on to do great things. And one classic is Rachel Backelbeck.
Yep.
She
was there with baseball.
Yeah, she was there, and she worked. She and Melissa Moore worked for our program at the same time, and Melissa Seal. She was Melissa Moore then, but Coach Melissa Seal. And so I was out in 2009. I had cancer, so I wasn't able to coach for a while, and Melissa took over for me. And it was funny looking back, because Coach Miles didn't like a woman working with the football team, but she was as good as any man that ever worked for me, and the same holds true for Rachel. Yeah. And now she's
on the field,
a manager for
a double-A team.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. And that's actually that's perfect segue, because my next question to you was, you hear about Nick Saban's coaching tree or Bill Belichick's coaching tree, all these big-time coaches that have all these other branches that came off of them. Your coaching tree, as far as strength and conditioning, is probably bigger than anyone's out there. How special is that to you? And for me, it's a credit to you of how great of a culture you created and how good you were at what you did and how people wanted to gravitate towards you and learn from you. How much does that mean to you to have a coaching tree that big?
Yeah, so, looking back, that is probably one of the most rewarding parts about my time, not just at LSU, but at Tennessee and Miami, because, it's all about people. It's all about people, man. And I was talking to somebody yesterday, and this is a cliche that people won't always remember what you said to them, but they'll always remember how you treated them. Mm-hmm. And it was my way of giving back when I was a young coach at John Curtis. The people that I came in contact with, and this is in addition to my collegiate strength coach, but the like Coach Gail Hatch, right here in Baton Rouge. The first college strength coach, John Stuckey, who gave me my job at the University of Tennessee. I reached out to him when I was a coach at John Curtis, because JT played at Arkansas. So when I got to Curtis, I was fresh out of college, man, and I had ideas, but they weren't founded in really any hard science or philosophical understanding of strength and conditioning. So JT gave me a list, and it was Johnny Parker, Gail Hatch, Al Miller, and John Stuckey. And those four men combined are the forefathers of our profession. And so I had those guys that molded me as a mentor, and I felt like it. And this was before the internet or before texting or Zoom calls. And so I would take a piece of paper and I would type a question at the top of a piece of paper, And I would do that on notebook paper, and then I would put those in the mail, and I would mail them to the other strength coaches.
Wow.
Now, Coach Hatch was easy. I could come see him.
Right.
But the other three, they, one was at Fayetteville, Arkansas. Johnny Parker was the head strength coach for the New York Giants, and Al Miller was the strength coach at one time at Alabama, but then became the strength coach for the Denver Broncos. And so I would write these questions or type these questions on notebook paper, fold them up, put them in an envelope, and put them in U.S. mail.
Yeah.
And then wait, like 3 weeks.
U.S. mail must have been way better back then than it is now. 'Cause now you don't. If I put something in the mail, I don't get it.
So, yeah. So it was my way of giving back because I wouldn't be sitting in this chair. I would have never coached and, had the opportunities I had people not help me. Mm-hmm. So I felt compelled to do the same, and I continue, to do the same. And, I try to answer every message that I get, whether it's on social media or on email or phone calls.
Well, I'll say this, man. I never got to work directly with you. We've got to build a relationship based off of, playing baseball, and then obviously, Clay and I are friends. But you've made an impact on me based off of like how you showed up every day and what you did and how you went about your stuff. So I can see what they see. I went through it. I wasn't working directly underneath you, but I can definitely see the impact that you have, given or put on other people. I guess my last question before we really get into like the fun, questions is, as far as strength and conditioning is concerned, right? Everyone's talking about, you hear the TB12 method, you hear all these different types of training, and look, there's not one way to skin a cat, right? There's a bunch of different ways that work. How have you seen strength and conditioning and that industry change over the last 30 years? And do you like the route that it's going? And, obviously it's always evolving. And what would you say, where do you think the future of strength and conditioning is?
Well, it's definitely much better than it was before. So in the old days, you had to rely on, so the information that you got was usually old by the time it circulated down to the high school and the young collegiate strength coach. So it was hard to get information. So we have more information now that comes across our computer screen on a daily basis. And technology has really changed the game, because before, everything that we did as coaches was based on experience and or intuition, and very little scientific data. Now you can measure everything that goes on in training and in the game. Just in the sport of baseball with the Motus sleeve and all of that for pitching. Well, every time our players wiggled since 2011, every time that we have practiced
They
or
wiggle.
run,
I like that. I like that.
Wiggle, because it's so. There's devices now. Every device has an accelerometer, and that's how your phone is able to track you, and your watch tracks you. In fact, this watch that I'm wearing now has more power, more memory than the first computer that I owned.
It's on your wrist.
I had a 40 megabyte hard drive, and back in the old days, you would load a program on your computer and use it, and then you would have to delete it off and put another program on and use it and delete it off. Save it on your floppy disk. And
3.5 floppy A, dude. Yes.
So now everything that I do activity-wise is stored in this watch, and that's the way athletics has become. Especially with the Polar products, you can't only record, or you can record what they do in activity, and then if they wear the watch, you can track them throughout the day.
Right.
So you get a real understanding of what the athlete goes through. So everything that an athlete does has an effect on the result. All right. So it's the sum of all of that that determines the overall training effect. So lifting, running, practice, all of that information we tried to put together to come up with a training plan. But the problem is the buy-in from coaches that have relied on tuition and experience.
Right.
You know, because there's no, there is analytics, data analytics in baseball and football, but a lot of the older coaches still aren't bought into all
for
of
sure.
that. And so you devise a plan for the team, and then you train the athletes, and everything that we did was individualized. And I don't know if you saw it, but when our players would come into the weight room twice a week, we'd have them jump on a force plate.
Yeah.
And that force plate told us everything that we needed to know about the lower body. And, you know, what the trainability was, what their recovery rate was like, or readiness, whatever you want to call it. So, yes, I'm a big proponent of the technology that is available, but that is not going to go anywhere unless there's buy-in from the entire, not just coaching staff, but the athletic department, because you have to, because it's an arms race. So, and I can't think of his name right now, but he was the longtime offensive line coach for Bill Belichick at the Patriots, and we were at one of the pro days probably 4 or 5 years ago, and he was in a conversation with a group of us, and we were talking about analytics, and he hadn't said a word. And at the time, I think he was like 73 or 74 years old, 40 years of coaching experience in the NFL. And he spoke up, and everybody got quiet and listened. He says, whether or not you believe in analytics or respect analytics, they're here. And it's your choice to use them. And whether you choose to use them or not, you're always going to face opponents who do a better job at the analytics, and they're going to put a better product on the field. And so I'm a big believer in it. I think for instance, what Micah Gibbs is doing at baseball performance labs.
Had him on here?
Yeah, the stuff that he's doing is groundbreaking, and he's got 4 to 6 simple tests that he can do that not only determine which bat you swing, but, how far and how hard you're going to hit the baseball and the spin rate and all of this stuff. So it's here. All of your training should be data driven. It takes all the guesswork out of it. It's just important that we get the people that are in charge to understand that and give you the opportunity to utilize it.
Well, Dad, you were one of the first with, what is it, like perch technology or what have you, that y'all put on the barbells at LSU and put in the weight room?
Yeah, and that technology had been around for a while, but you had to attach a string to the bar, and they were doing that in the 70s, in Europe. So they took the technology from like Xbox Connect and artificial intelligence, so that the infrared camera or whatever the device was, it focused on the barbell. So all you had to do was enter the
wiggle.
Load. Yeah,
just wiggle. Just wiggle.
And it calculates a lot of different metrics that are important in athletics. But the GPS is what started it. Monitor them when they're outside running. That's what got it started. And from that, an entire industry of devices came out, and they keep coming out.
Yeah, I got one wear the Whoop.
Yeah.
I wear the Whoop every day. That's a big one. The Oura Ring, all these different things. You obviously have all this wealth of knowledge. I think what separates you from a lot of the older strength coaches, right, is that you are so willing to adapt to the technology and willing to learn it, and you obviously are super educated in it. So to me, that shows that you have the passion is still there.
Yeah.
You're still doing a lot of things that you want to do. What are you doing now?
Ooh.
I know.
So much.
I know. What do you like? I know obviously the strength and conditioning is always going to be a part of your life. What are you doing to fill that void?
Yeah.
Since you've been gone.
I'm doing a lot. I don't even know. So, I always knew that my time at LSU was not going to last forever. You know, I consider myself blessed to have been there for as long as I was.
You went through 3 coaching
Yeah,
staffs.
3 head coaches. I had 2 sons graduate from LSU, you know, and that never happens. So I always had an exit strategy. And, you know, when you start, you know, losing like we were, and anybody that knows the landscape of collegiate athletes would have known that, you know, we were in trouble. And so I
Still
guess,
writing on the wall a little bit, right?
Anybody can get it at this point. Yeah. Nobody's safe.
It's probably not good.
yeah, we were in trouble.
Week
And-
1.
yeah. And so I called my wife after the game and said, we're getting fired. She's like, what? And I was like, oh, yeah.
Wait, which game?
UCLA.
Oh, God. So you knew then. You knew that. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
91. You can't roll that product out on the field and expect, you know, and that's not LSU. You know, that's not what I signed up for. Until 2020, I had never been on a team that had won less than 8 games my entire career. I'd been to 26 consecutive bowl games. And, you know, every team that, I didn't know what losing was like, you know, never imagined losing, you know, that many football games in a season. That was beyond every belief system that I'd ever, you know, believed in. And so, so I got a series of phone calls from friends that said, hey man, what are you going to, because they saw the writing on the wall too. You know, that the week after that UCLA game was tough.
Oh, I can imagine.
And so I was like, you know, I'm obviously going to have to do something. So as the season progressed, you know, I just would sit and think about it and write notes down. And so I've been putting that plan into action. So without saying too much, without saying too much, I'm going to have. I'm definitely starting a business.
Right.
I'm going to have, or not me, but I've partnered up with some phenomenal people, some phenomenal investors, and people that are experts in their field, people that have a true passion for entrepreneurship and growth and helping people.
Right.
And performance-oriented people. And so we're going to have an online presence, and we're going to have now, I'm almost certain, 2 facilities, one here in Baton Rouge and one's in a destination that
far away,
far away, a destination
Undisclosed
far
location.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
There you go.
And you know, it's so awesome to be partnered with an incredible group of people that I've been around, and they're friends. They're people that I have known since. Some of them I've known for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
And some I've coached with, some I've coached. And so that's what I'm going to do, you know, and it's going to be all strength and conditioning oriented. You know, it's who I am.
Right, of course.
And it goes back to when I was a kid. There was no way I was ever going to do anything but this.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about it. My partners are excited about it. And I spend probably yesterday. I didn't go to bed until midnight. It's one of those projects that you can't sleep when you're working on it. So I spend probably anywhere from 4, sometimes 12 hours a day working on it, and excited about it. And we're a few months away from launching, you know, the first aspect of the business, and we're just going to continue to grow and see what happens.
Well, wherever that location is, and wherever it is, I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna come back in there like old times sakes.
Yeah, we're gonna bring the pain. I promise.
I cannot wait. Speaking of the paint, You used to smash chairs, right? And you also used to shotgun monsters. That's the rumor.
That's a rumor.
That's the rumor.
That's the rumor.
That's the rumor.
I can't confirm nor deny that. Yeah, we had fun.
Yeah, bring the pain.
Right.
You mentioned 2020. You mentioned 2021. You kind of saw the writing on the wall. What happened between 2019 and 2021?
Great question. So, you know, in retrospect, you know, I never imagined again that I would ever coach on a team that won less than 8 games. Like, that was beyond me. And no excuses. So when you look back, whether it in 2001, we had an incredible season. We played in the Sugar Bowl. We beat Illinois. We beat the brakes off of Illinois.
Right.
And then the next year in 2002, we had a down year. Coach Saban called that relief syndrome, and I've heard him say it 1,000 times. You make an A on the midterm, and then you relax. You make a D on the final, and you're satisfied with a C, you know? And so in 2002, we had a bad year. You know, we come back and win it in 2003. In 2004, I mean, if you look back on it, we had a great football team and could have finished the year, although Coach Saban was leaving, we could have finished the year with a great season, but, you know, we lost the game with seconds left to go on the clock, you know, to Iowa. In the
Tate was that the
touchdown.
Yep, I remember that.
It was a Hail Mary play in the last play of the game, wasn't it? Yeah, absolutely. It was on my couch. It couldn't help you.
Yeah.
But
Corner came off. You know, the guy scrambled.
Yep.
Corner came off, throws it over his head. So then in 2005, 2006, we have great seasons. We win it in 2007, and in 2008, the bottom falls out.
I remember that.
And you know, the amazing thing was, and you know, I'm a big believer in 4-year cycles, like the Olympic cycle. You know, there's a reason why you don't play the Olympics or you compete in the Olympics year after year after year, because you just can't handle. You know, those guys, Olympians, train for 4 years for that one opportunity. And that's the way our cycle was here at LSU. Recruiting had some things to do with it, but in a large part, it was all related to what Coach Saban called release syndrome. And in 2008, those guys, you know, looking back, they trained hard. In 2009, you know, we were just a game away from, you know, winning. I mean, just points away from having a 10-win season. But they underperformed, you know. And then in 2011, we played for the national championship. And then the next year, we had a good football team, but we lost to Clemson in the Chick-fil-A Bowl. And it was always a roller coaster here. And for various reasons, whether it's recruiting or it's relief syndrome, whatever you want to call it, I'm not going to blame it on COVID because everyone had the same circumstances that we had in 2020. You know, our team underperformed. You know, our coaching staffs underperformed. You know, everybody in the program underperformed, and that's the result of it.
Yeah.
And in 2021, you know, the wheels just fell off. And, you know, I if anybody that knows me, I don't sugarcoat things.
No,
and,
you do not.
You know, there's, I call it like I see it, you know.
I'm getting fired.
Yeah. And you have to be a realist, you know.
Yeah.
I don't own a pair of rose-colored glasses. And we just underperformed everybody in the entire organization underperformed for whatever reason.
Yep.
You can say it was this or that. It doesn't matter what the reason was. We underperformed.
It happened, yeah.
And so, and no matter how hard and there are people, I'm not saying cast the blame on everyone, because there were some people in the organization who worked their tails off to keep the lug nuts tight, but it was
almost like it was
too far
inevitable.
gone.
Yeah.
yeah, it was bad. It was
Yeah.
bad to be a part of too.
Yeah, I can imagine, especially someone as competitive and as fiery as you. I mean,
It was tough.
yeah, I can imagine.
But looking, and it's a learning experience too.
Sometimes the best experiences
Yeah.
are the worst experiences.
Look at Michael Jordan's cliche is what did Michael Jordan said something
F them kids.
Yeah. you learn through failure,
Right.
and he talked about all the losing shots that he
Yep.
took in the last seconds and all the free throws that he missed and all. So, yeah, you learn by failure.
Yep.
There's not as many lessons in winning as there are in losing.
So I have a special question that
Yeah.
I was told to ask you.
Okay.
It said you got to ask him, what does it mean to break a dude off?
Oh, man. Wait, who said that? You can't tell me?
Your son.
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat.
Yeah. So, and you learn again by failure, and you don't, our program wasn't a program where, you talked ugly to people and downgraded them, but you had to take people to the edge, especially for some that had never been there before. You have to take the person to the edge, to where they didn't, to where they started doubting themselves, to learn how strong
Yep.
they really are. Lance Armstrong, although he can be a controversial.
It's okay.
But he taught himself, or he said that you never know how strong you are until being strong is all that you have left. And so to break someone off is to push them to the point where they gain confidence in their ability to overcome any adversity that they face. The strength that I always wanted to build in a young athlete was not how much you could bench or squat or power clean. The strength that I wanted to build was the type of strength that lasts a lifetime. Because in life, there's going to be obstacles that you don't think that you're going to be able to overcome unless you've experienced the type of training that, a collegiate football player has, or a Navy SEAL, or somebody that has grown up in some serious adversity.
Right.
And then because you've been to that edge but didn't fall off, you develop the type of strength, again, that will carry you through any form of adversity, personal, professional, that you face for the rest of your life. And that's what breaking a guy off is.
I love that.
And we had so much fun there doing it, So
People probably respect it after the fact.
right. So, and I'm not going
We
to.
had so much. He had so much fun. Yeah.
No. If that was the good thing about our position at LSU and the type of players, whether it was Joseph Adai. Joe asked me one time, says, Coach, why? This is when Joe was like a sophomore. Joe said, Coach, why do you hate me so bad? And I was like, Joe, I don't hate you. I love you, Joe. Michael Clayton said to me, Coach, why are you always on me? And I was like, because I see something in you that you don't see yourself. And unless I push you as hard as I'm pushing you, you're always going to take, and not always take the easy way out, but you're not going to push yourself to the level that you don't even know that you have.
Because it's always easy for him.
Right. Because, there's a 5% rule. and it doesn't matter if it's in junior high, high school, college, or the NFL. There's 5% of the guys on every squad that are just that much more physically, mentally, and emotionally developed than the other 95% of the guys. And Michael Clayton and Joseph Adai and Kyle Williams and Andrew Whitworth were those type of guys. And then everyone else is just a bunch of dudes, man, that got lucky. And those guys carry the program. That's like out of 100 soldiers. Have y'all heard that? And there's always that one out of 100 that is the warrior, and he's the one that gets everybody back home safely. Yeah. And that was Mike Clayton. That was Joe Burrow. Yeah, Joe was the warrior on that team, and everybody else, were just regular guys.
So you should say warrior. I was about to ask you because we had Patrick Queen on here in that chair, and he told us a story
about the fight.
Fights,
plural.
Yeah, fights. And I brought it to you, and he goes, I can tell you some stories about that. He said that they basically tried to jump Joe because he wanted to fight everybody.
Everybody. Dude. All right, so Coach Saban one time said that on every team there was always that one guy that everybody would say, they would point and say player. And that was Joe. So after that, you take buses over to the stadium and we would scrimmage, and then there would only be 2 or 3 guys, and they were always O-linemen that were too lazy to walk back. Everybody else would walk back. But the O-line, they would all get on the buses and ride the air-conditioned bus back.
Here, you give me the option.
Yeah. Everybody else would walk back. So we're walking out of the stadium, and we're walking through the parking lot in front of the admin building, and I look at Joe, and he looked like he'd been in a serious bar fight. Like he was skint up from head to toe. He fought everybody that day.
I love that.
Everybody. Anybody that wanted some, they knew that Joe was ready.
And he got all the respect from everybody because of that.
Yeah, everybody.
I guess this leads right into my next question.
Yeah.
And he may be that you've coached Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
You've coached All Pros. You've coached guys that are badasses that never made it to the NFL. Out of all the guys that you coached and you were a part of and you influenced, who is the baddest dude that you've ever had walk through?
Whew.
Right? Now,
That's tough. That's
tough.
tough. So I'll break it down let's break it down first by university. So
I like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
like
would
that.
say Peyton Manning. Let's start. Well, so I can even go back as far as John Curtis. We had some dudes on that team, man. We had some dudes on that.
Yeah,
team.
they were all 24 years old in high school.
Yeah. where did you go?
Menard.
Yeah. No, they were not. We had some guys that were 20, maybe. But we had some
Driving to
dudes
junior high games.
Yeah.
Dropping the kids off at school.
Yeah. They dropped the kids off at the lower school. And
Don't forget your playbook.
So we had a couple of guys, Bobby Powers, Reggie Wilson, Robert Thibodeau, on and on and on. We had some dudes when I was at Curtis, but at Tennessee, Peyton Manning was that guy. Peyton Manning was the guy that would have guys that on Thursday, he had his group of guys that would come in the weight room, and they were defensive linemen, offensive linemen, DBs. They would come in the weight room. There's one guy that stands out, Peyton, a guy named Ray Alston, and nobody knows Ray, but every day when you look on the television, there's this guy. He's on every kind of commercial that you could think of. He's and I think he's the commissioner of the fan. What do they call it?
The automated or the fan controlled league.
Yeah,
Football league.
Ray Alston. So Ray, he's a movie star now, and I think the commissioner of that league or the owner of one of the teams, fan controlled football. He was the guy when Bill Parcells, there was a light beer commercial, and he said, "Hey, coach," and ask a question in the background. So he was a dude. And then at Miami, we had so many, but Edgerrin James. And so I love listening to the Hall of Fame acceptance speeches.
Right.
And nobody ever did a better job in my mind than Edgerrin James. and it wasn't written down, and it was from the heart. He was a dude. One of the baddest dudes I have ever been around in my entire coaching career. And was like a 3.5 GPA student, never failed a class the whole time. And he talks about his dreadlocks in his gold teeth in his acceptance speech in the Hall of Fame. People who looked at him on the outside would like, whoa. But if you knew the heart and the mind and the level of spirit and competitiveness that this guy had, it was unbelievable. In fact, leading up to the draft his junior year, well, he's the only player that I've ever coached that continued doing the off-season running program, the fourth quarter program, after he had decided to leave. Oh, wow. He's the only one in, I don't know how many years I coached in college, but he went through our off-season running program prior to the draft. And when he was done, he would stand there and talk smack to every person on the team.
Well, I've heard stories about Edge that he doesn't get tired. They were said that you'd put him through workouts and he would be like, "Are y'all done? You want to do another one?"
I also heard stories about Chad Jones doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But.
Well, Edgerrin James was a freak show, and the kindest, gentlest person off the field, unless you made him mad.
Yeah, of course.
Unless you tried to Welsh on a bed or something like that.
Personal experience?
Yeah. And then, so here at LSU, I would say, there's a bunch of them. Rohan was a dude. Marquise Hill was a badass. Andrew Whitworth, Kyle Williams, Joe Adai, LeBrandon Tofield, Dominique Davis. We had so many here. Patrick Peterson, Tyron. There's just so many. Yeah. So many. Right. Sean Jordan.
He's a UFC fighter now.
Yeah. So, and some of the guys have to remain nameless. But so Sean had finished playing and was, he had already started. He had already signed his contract with UFC. And we were in the weight room. When I say the old weight room at Football Ops before the renovation, we were standing where the windows were at the end of the room. We had a couple pieces of cardio equipment. And we had this machine, a reverse hyper machine. And we'd finished with the workout. And I was standing back there leaning on that piece of equipment with 3 or 4 offensive linemen, like big dudes. Every one of them was over 300 pounds. And we're talking. And you could see the parking lot from where we were standing. And Sean Jordan is walking up the parking lot. And he'd been gone for maybe 2 years, maybe 3. And he's walking up the parking lot. And the old lineman, somebody goes, "Who's that?" And one of the offensive linemen says, "Sean Jordan." And 2 of them says, "Oh, I'm out."
See y'all later.
I was like, "Where y'all going?" "Coach, we're out." And they left. They all 4 turned and walked out of the weight room. That's how bad of a dude Sean Jordan was.
Is there anybody that you coached that you were like, "Damn, this big son of a bitch, I'm kind of scared. Like, I can't piss this guy off."
I fear no man.
Okay.
But there was some that I respected.
Right.
So we had golly, man, Andrew Whitworth. Kyle Williams might be Kyle, I love you. Kyle knows I love him. But he may be the meanest human being.
I heard that.
Yeah.
He was kind of an undersized DT, right?
Yeah.
So he had to be.
He wasn't as tall as some of the greats, you know. But undersized, like you couldn't measure the size of his heart, and the level of competitiveness that he has. Man, Kyle Williams, Marquise Hill was a scary dude. Whitworth. And so back in the old days when somebody would, because college football is, it's a rough sport. You see and hear some stuff that you're like, whoa. So whenever, we called it going off over the wall. So whenever somebody would get mad and walk off the practice field, it was my job to go get him to come back.
Going over the wall.
Somebody'd go over the wall. I remember this big dude one time. went and he'll remain nameless, went over the wall. And they were like, go get him. I'm like,
You go get him.
what? And then Bo Davis, I'm like, Bo, come on, let's go get him. So, yeah, we've had some bad dudes. Quan Alexander was a bad dude, Kevin Stelz, Craig's older brother, Kevin Stelz.
Oh, yeah, no idea.
Was a bad dude. And their list goes, I mean, there's just so many.
Yeah.
And that's why we were successful. You don't win with just like choir boys.
Hear that all the time.
You don't.
Gotta have some dogs.
Peyton Manning, he's funny on TV, and makes funny commercials. Peyton was a bad dude.
You have to be.
Well, there's stories of him locking the other quarterbacks out of the practice facility. He would get there first and lock the door so nobody else could study with him or look at tape before he did.
Let me tell you a story about tape with Peyton. So where my office was in the weight room at Tennessee, I had a window behind my desk, and when I looked out the window, I could see the parking lot. So this is after Peyton's senior year, not long after the season. And I see he drove this black Oldsmobile Bravada. It's like a poor man's version of the Blazer, Chevy Blazer or GMC. They had something. But it was an Oldsmobile Bravada. So Peyton backs up to the building. He gets out and he pecks on my window. So I open the window. He says, Coach, I got some tape here. Can you help me get it out of my truck? And I was like, sure. So I leave the weight room and I walk around. He's pushing a shopping cart. And I said, what's that for? He goes, well, I got a lot of tape. He says, there's another cart over there. Can you get that other cart? Because this is before
it's like the big
digital media.
Betamax.
Well, not they were VHS tapes. Because that was in the offices and stuff, you used the big tapes. But they would convert it to Super VHS for the players. And Peyton had a Cowboy remote and all that himself. So he goes, yeah, there's another shopping cart over there. Get it. So we go over there. We go outside. And he opened the back of his Oldsmobile Bravada, and it was stacked with tapes. From the back door all the way, because he had laid the back seat down, all the way to the front seats, wall side to side, top to bottom, stacked with tapes. I said, you kept every tape your whole career? He goes, no, this is just this season.
Wow.
I was like, you're kidding me. He goes, no. And he had every shot. Tight copies, wide copies, side copies, back end copies, game copies.
All 22.
He had it all. And
crazy.
we played with players that never watched a bit of film or never looked at the stat sheets, and those guys were successful because they were just better than everyone else.
Yeah.
Peyton outworked everybody. I make a joke. I hope he, and I
hope he's listening.
I hope he does.
I hope he doesn't hear.
We do a
this
thing
stuff.
on the show where you just call somebody in your phone, so you can go ahead and do that.
So Peyton, I tell people this, that every time he took the field, he was the worst athlete there, including the cheerleaders. But he was a dude.
Yeah.
And he prepared at a level that that he just outworked his opponents.
Have you seen anybody to that level?
Joe Burrow. Yeah.
That's what I was getting at. I was
Yeah.
hoping that.
So
That's what you say.
I mean, so
But do you think that's a product of coming from a coach's family, like coming from a family that understands it, helping
that has
teach
something
them?
to do with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That has something to do with it. But because Cooper didn't play at Ole. He played a little bit at Ole Miss, but then he had a medical issue, so he couldn't play. But now Joe's had two brothers that played, and his dad was a coach, and of course Archie played. But it was something else about those two that came from inside. And it was the spring of 2019 when the scouts come through. And I was sitting in my office, and we were, they have a list. And like a lot of young players would always say, Coach, because they would see all the scouts leave my office, and a sophomore would say, Coach, did he ask about me? And I would say, no, I'm sorry.
No, I didn't ask about you.
Because they have a list, and it's just the guys that they think are draftable. They don't have – if you're a guy that they think is going to be a free agent, they don't even ask. They wait until they see your junior or senior film before they – and then they'll even say, I'm going to ask about this guy, but he shouldn't come out. He needs to stay another year. But so the guy goes, all right, what do you think about this Joe Burrow kid? And I said, the first group of scouts that came through, I said, he's better than Peyton Manning. And there was this guy, he's got his pad out, and he goes like that. And I saw him do it, and I said.
Kind of pissed you off a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It pissed me off a lot. and another guy goes, well, what makes you say that? And so I said, there's only one person in America that has coached Peyton Manning and Joe Burrow, both, and you're looking at him. And I'm telling you, he's better than Peyton Manning. And the guy goes like that again. And I was like, okay, that's fine with me, but I'm telling you, he's great. And he that's the dude he became. I had nothing to do with his success, but he did it all on his own.
But you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Bill Bush calls and says, hey, we got this kid, this grad transfer quarterback coming from Ohio State, and he's going to get here a week early, and he wants to know if you'll come meet him at the facility. This was in June. Oh, it was still May when Bill called me, so I said, sure. So, a couple of days later, Joe calls, and Joe goes, look, he said, I'm coming down a week early. I know it's going to be hot this summer, and I know that my first impression is going to be critical. So do you mind coming and working with me before the rest of the team gets here? And I said, absolutely not. So Joe and I met every day the week before the team showed up, and we went through every.
He didn't know anybody yet at the time. He'd just gotten there.
No, he'd just gotten there. There was nobody on campus, because that's the dead week where, if you're in intersession, you get to go home, and intersession ends, and it was kind of like a dead week. And it was usually the week that the Moffit family went on vacation. But we didn't go on vacation.
That's okay.
We just took a 3-day week with the Gulf Shores. So
got this kid from Ohio that won't leave me alone.
Yeah. But it paid off. So, Joe and I met every morning, and we went over every aspect of the program, from what he was supposed to do before the workout started until where stuff was in the building and everything.
Attention to detail.
Yeah.
I think
Never
that's
had
kinda,
a player do it.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like what you can see him do that now in the NFL, right? As a quarterback and being the guy leading an organization.
Yep.
You have to have attention to detail, even the smallest little detail, and it matters. And like the fact that he already knew that when he came in and wanted to know before he even met any of his teammates, obviously shows how special he was.
Yep.
Did you take him through all of what the workouts that he would have been doing for whenever he joined the team?
Yes. Yeah, we did everything that he was going to do as an LSU player in the month of June.
Because a lot of when Patrick Queen came here, they were shocked that he showed up and he was able to beat almost everybody in sprints and go through all this. Like, how does he even know how to pace himself through all this? So
he's talking about the 110 test.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Joe just smoked it.
It's unbelievable. Because when he showed up and you saw pictures of him at the facility before, he does not look like how he looks now. Like his body has undergone some physical changes as
new
well.
Teeth
So
too.
new teeth, obviously, but it didn't seem like he was. He got some
nice
chiclets.
pearly whites in there now.
Really?
Oh yeah, money glow up. That's what happens.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem like he was in that great of shape. So for him to show up already and get that one
came
weekend,
from
that's
here.
what I'm saying.
You know, whether it was the 110 test or the shuttle test, it wasn't a test of your physical endurance. It's a test of your mental strength and endurance. And I had guys that I knew hadn't run all summer long.
Chad Jones.
Well, just got freak shows, and so I would say, "Hey, how'd you pass it?" He said, "Prayer, coach," because they were able to overcome adversity, and quieten that little man inside your head that says, stop, slow down, don't go. You're going too hard. Everybody else is behind you. Why are you running so hard? Everybody else is at home in bed. And when you can defeat that little guy there, the sky's the limit.
None of you go. I'm not one supposed to work out.
I don't want to go work out.
Then we're all going to work out together.
That's the way it is.
No doubt.
The 110 test, so Ray Alston, the guy I was talking about from Tennessee, we would run 110s, and I'd be driving home that afternoon. You'd see Ray running with a Walkman, the big yellow Walkman, and headphones like this, running on the street, running down the strip in Knoxville. So we would have guys that would, when they were freshmen, they were like, oh, this is, you're killing us. And then as a sophomore, junior, or senior, they'd come run with the morning group and then run in the afternoon. Kyle Williams swore to me that the conditioning test was too easy. We'd have guys, unfortunately, we had guys that took the test for 5 years and never passed it. And then you would have guys that would take the test for 5 years and never miss a rep. And they're the same athlete, but they got a different heart.
Yep.
And that's what all of this, my job, again, was not about increasing your bench, squat, or power clean. That was the easy part. It was building the mental strength and the stuff that carries you throughout your entire life that was critical. That's what strength and conditioning coaches do. The other part, if you want to get strong, lift heavy weights. You want to get faster, run fast. Or get better parents, because
their genetics.
Yeah, because we couldn't change their DNA.
Yeah, right.
And some people don't have it in their DNA to be able to push through that.
Yeah.
Because they don't have one man in there. They have a whole group of people in there saying, slow down, stop, you're going too hard. Nobody else is doing this. And so you'll never overcome that.
I love that. Look, I kept you. Oh, you have
one question from a fan: who is the strongest LSU player you've coached?
Clay.
Pound for who?
Clay.
No. Clay wasn't even the strongest baseball player. He'll be deadlifting in the garage. So pound for pound, probably the strongest player, pound for pound, that I ever coached would still probably be Patrick Peterson. Yeah. I know that there's somebody. Jacoby Stevens was pound for pound, was strong, really strong. But I think pound for pound, the person, and that's the person who lifted the most pounds, so we take the clean squat and bench, add him up, divide him by his body weight, is probably still Patrick Peterson.
Freak show.
Freak show. So the strongest total, I think, would probably be Joe Barksdale.
I remember him.
Joe Barksdale squatted 700 pounds.
He's a big dude too.
Yeah.
He's what, 6'7", 6'6"?
And a bad dude. The kindest. Joe's a comedian and a musician. Joe's into everything now.
Yeah.
But Joe was a freak show. Joe squatted 704 pounds and jerked 400 pounds over his head. Benched well over 400 pounds.
I think my spine would crack.
So
running out of weight in the room.
Yeah. So, and you have guys that put up big numbers for us once, but couldn't replicate it. They just had a great day. Damone Clark. Damone Clark was a freak show. Lewis Neal. So there's really a bunch, because there's not a big difference in the school records and all the lists between. It was like Sean Jordan had a great day. Kevin Stelz had a great day. Kyle Williams. We had a competition one time between it was Kyle Williams and Melvin Oliver. Melvin Oliver was a freak. So Glenn Dorsey and Marlon Favorite were freshmen, and I think Kyle Williams and Melvin Oliver were juniors. And those 4 were going back and forth who was the strongest. And Kyle said that by the time that Melvin and I finish our bench and squat, we'll have a higher total than you 3 will on the power clean bench and squat. And sure enough, they did.
Wow.
So we combined their 2 squats and bench presses, and it beat their 6 lifts total.
Wow.
So those 2, so and then Glenn, of course, put up big numbers. So did Marlon. But there's a group of guys.
Yeah.
It's hard to say just one guy because they all had very similar totals within pounds of one another. But I saw some amazing feats of strength in my time. Amazing.
I mean, I could ask. I mean, I've kept.
I know. I have so many questions.
I've kept you for so long. I have so many questions. So I'm gonna try not to. Do we have any more fan questions before? Any other good ones that we want to ask? Because I have a bunch of things I want to ask, but if I ask him that, the time we'd be here till 3:00. We can't be doing that. Jay Mitch said he wishes he could come. He's playing independent ball, but he says what's up.
That's my dog there.
That's it.
Hey, great athlete. Phenomenal athlete.
Yeah.
Anybody, so I was looking at some stuff today, like Chris Jackson.
Yeah. Nobody understands how unbelievable he was.
Yeah, the guy won 6 state championships in high school, 3 in football, 3 in baseball. Then he comes here. Like, if you go back, some of the biggest games in his time here, some of our biggest games during his time here, the guy had 2 or 3 field goals, against Miami. Now, we stomped them, but, he had some big field goals in that game.
Before the game and after the game.
Yeah. And dudes, Dwayne Bowe.
Oh, Andrew. Yeah. Well, they're all from Miami.
Yeah, we had some dudes on that team. But Chris Jackson, Chad Jones, Jared Mitchell, freaks. Because we had other guys.
Spencer Ware, too, played both.
Spencer Ware. So, and unsung hero, too. You talk about a competitor.
Goal.
That dude was a fierce competitor. But for a guy to be able to do what Chris Jackson did, start here in the SEC, started as a freshman in the SEC, and I think he may have hit like 3rd or 4th or something like that.
He was the best hitter in the lineup.
Yeah, and then start in football and kick field goals in big games and do the things that he did. So I almost got I got a personal foul in the we were playing Notre Dame in the Sugar Bowl, and we ran a fake kick and a fake field goal, and Chris got waylaid on our sideline by the guy that played safety for Notre Dame. He was the
Tom Zibikowski.
Yeah, Zibikowski.
The boxer.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And
he reference.
Good pull.
Yeah.
Hey.
He hit Chris on the sideline and then punched him, like boom, punched him in the face, and Chris got up and was looking out of his ear hole. And I went, and then Trendon Holland, so I got mad about that, and then Trendon got thrown. Trendon Holiday, another freak show, two sport athlete,
right,
got thrown into our bench on a kick return or a punt return, and I went nuts, and I got flagged with a personal foul.
That's awesome.
I thought I was going to get thrown out of the game, but then Benny Brazil, who went to the Olympics. Benny ran in the Athens Olympics in the finals of the high hurdles, and then got on a plane and was working out with us like 2 weeks later. I wanted to give him more time off, but Coach Saban was like, he's got to run.
Coach, he's just in the Olympics.
Yeah.
Coach, he was just running for 2
weeks. It's not like he was in L.A. He was in Athens.
Right.
So, Jared Mitchell, Spencer Ware, Benny Brazil, Trendon Holiday. We've had a bunch of those guys that were just absolutely freak shows.
Damn, that's awesome.
What about DK Metcalf's diet? Have you seen this? Is that supposed to be possible? Where he doesn't eat anything but 2 big bags of candy and dinner?
He eats 2 big bags of candy throughout the day. He drinks coffee, 2 big bags of candy, and then eats dinner at 8 p.m. That's the only thing he eats all day.
Every day.
That's family.
What kind of candy is it?
Like those types, like Mike and Ike's, and
it's,
like
the chewy gummies, like like little gummy candies.
Lifesaver gummies and
Starburst gummies.
Yeah, y'all know the 5% rule?
Yeah.
He's 5%er.
He's probably a 1%.
he's a freak show.
Yeah. Yeah, I've known guys that, we had players at LSU that would come and they'd have a peppermint in their mouth, I said, you eat lunch today? And they're, sucking on peppermint. They hadn't eaten all day. Yeah. So they're that 1%.
Yeah, maybe 0.5%.
0.5% body
But,
fat.
so of course, his activity level, as long as he's burning that sugar off.
Well, that's
Yeah, and there's people with different metabolisms, and that's one of the things. So we're talking about technology. The polar technology, it's pretty neat. They can tell based on your heart rate and your output whether you're burning sugar or carbs or fat. And then two people, so all of us could do the exact same workout.
Right.
Just pounded a bag of candy. So.
But well, there's certain people. So when I was a young coach, they would say I have a fast metabolism or I have a slow metabolism, and I would say no, you just eat too much, or no, you don't eat enough. But then when we started using these technologies, it's actually, you can see there are guys on our team that are fast, they have a fast metabolism and they burn more calories. Like a lot of our runs, like all the DBs would do the exact same workout. And if it's timed runs, they're all running the exact same time. And you have one guy that would burn 2,200 calories, and then you have another guy that burns 900 calories.
Right. Wow.
And the guy that burned 900 calories in that workout is going to be a bigger, thicker player. Same on the offensive line. You could have every offensive lineman on the team do the same run, timed runs, same distance, same times. You have one guy that burns 2,100 calories. You have the other guy burns 900 calories, and the 900 calories is the guy that weighs 350. And they're running the same pace, same distance, same time. And so, so DJ probably has one of those metabolisms that he burns all that sugar off, and then he probably eats a pretty good meal at night, though.
Yeah,
I would
I would
imagine
say that, yeah.
it's probably a half a chicken or a big steak and, good food.
I love that.
That's it.
Coach, I appreciate you doing this. Kept you
Thank
for an hour and 15 minutes.
That's cool, man.
I appreciate
Whatever
the
I can
stories.
do.
No, this is awesome. And like you said, whenever the facility's ready, I'm in there. I'm going to let you come and yell at me so I can go.
He's trying to dominate ancient athletes.
Yeah,
That's his new life
I'll
goal.
be
Oh,
whenever
really?
I'm done, if I'm officially done, I'll be ancient athlete. I'll be doing all kinds of stuff.
You're going to be in the St. Patrick's Day parade dribbling the basketball with the ancient athletes. Come on.
I'm getting Clay. I'm gonna get Clay in the ancient athletes.
Oh,
I'm gonna get
God
Clay in
bless
there.
you.
We'll go be playing.
Yeah.
We'll be playing pickup. They
Yeah.
play pickup on Mondays.
Monday,
he said.
Catholic, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna start jumping in there.
Yeah.
I think
You ought to come over and work out in the garage sometime.
I'll do that.
There's
You used
no
to be my
work-
neighbor. You used to live in the. I used to live in the
Yeah.
same neighborhood.
Yeah. There's no workout like the garage workout.
Nothing. You sweat your ass off.
Yeah.
I love that.
So it's free, man.
All right.
Come on over.
I'm gonna come in there. I appreciate it. We're gonna take a little break while you get them out of here. But thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks
for
for
doing
having me.
this.
Thanks.
Our What's for Lunch segment is brought to you by Doe's Eat Place. Maybe the best burger in town. If you're not looking for lunch, you're looking for dinner, go check out Doe's Eat Place. They have unbelievable choice of meats. They have unbelievable tamales. They have a great atmosphere, great vibes. If you're looking for a homey Louisiana type of atmosphere, but you're looking for high quality food, Doe's Eat Place is your spot. Go in the back bar, sit at the bar, have a couple drinks, watch some games, enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the vibes. Check out Doe's Eat Place, the best place in Baton Rouge to get your meats. Mik'd Up is brought to you by Law Offices of Lance Beal. Call them today, 337-991-6263. They know what it takes to win. Their practice areas include personal injury, small business, family law, estate planning, with an emphasis in construction law. Your choice for reliable representation. 337-991-6263. Hey y'all, it's Mikey from Mik'd Up. I want to talk a little bit About my friends down at Sterling Automotive in Lafayette. They're locally owned and operated for over 25 years. They have 13 locations, 4 in Opelousas, 5 in Lafayette, 1 in Broussard, 2 in Jennings, 1 in Crowley. They sell any type of car you could possibly find: Buicks, GMC, Ford, Lincoln, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Hyundai, Genesis, and Kia, along with 5 pre-owned locations. They have over 1,500 cars in inventory on site. Unbelievable service, unbelievable people. If you're like me and you're on the go, they can sell and they can ship you cars up to 200 miles. Unbelievably convenient. Again, my friends down at Sterling Automotive in Lafayette, go to their website at saveatsterling.com. Awesome people, go check them out. We're in the OT hour. OT.
Oh, we got to get the Jared clock.
We do need to get the OT.
I would put Coach on there.
Dude, we should.
That was
Because he was awesome.
He was awesome.
He's great. I have a million other things. I wish I could have had him here for 5 hours with all the stories. I mean, he had the people that he's coached and the people that he's been around are unbelievable. But
I love that they dropped his nuts on that one scout. He's like, there's one person that's coached both
I could
Peyton
tell when
Manning
he
and
said
Joe
that. I was like,
Burrow.
he pissed you off. He goes, a little bit. He pissed me off
I mean,
a lot. Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
He goes, that's bullshit.
He's like, yeah.
Don't look at my player like that. Like, don't give me that.
Yeah.
Why
I'm
you-
telling you the truth.
Why are you in here asking me that?
Yeah. If you don't want to know, don't ask. We're gonna get y'all out of here soon. It was a big day. We had 2 great interviews. Paulie G is on the flight right now, heading to Arkansas.
Catered steaks.
Caters with steaks and potatoes. Bullshit. I don't get that shit when I was in there.
No.
Fucking pizzas.
Wait, they
and
really
pounds
get
and shit.
steak and potatoes?
They get steaks and shit. They get better food.
Bro,
It's the house that we
what?
built. It's bullshit.
The house that Mikey
Bullshit.
built, huh?
It's okay though. We do it for the people that come after us. You know, I'm glad they're doing it. They're getting all they're reaping
Getting all the
benefits, and they
perks.
should. That's how it should be. We reaped the benefits from the teams in the '90s who won 5 national championships. Like that's how it happens.
But you wore Russell jerseys and they have Nike stuff.
Yeah, but our jerseys were actually really good.
Yeah, I know.
We had Nikes my last year there, and it stunk.
Oh, wow.
Nike jerseys were terrible baseball jerseys. But Paulie G, awesome. I don't think that's his name, but I'm calling him Paulie G. I like that.
Yeah,
Paulie G
yeah.
was awesome interview. Obviously, Coach Moffit, unbelievable interview. Crushed it like he always does. Knew he would. We have 2 segments we're all going to hit before we go out. We have our curtain call, which I want to make sure I bring light to this, right? Curtain call. My curtain call is kind of goes hand in hand, but Alec Bohm / the Phillies fans, right? If you know Philly, you know their fans in Philly, they are ruthless. They threw snowballs at Santa, they booed Santa, they do a bunch of things. Like if they are off you, they are going to let you know about it, right? Well, Alec Bohm, who I was a former teammate of mine, I played with him when I was with Philly. He's a young guy playing third base, made 3 errors in 3 innings, the first 3 innings of the game, was struggling. Then he made a play, got the guy out. Crowd gave him like this sarcastic standing O. Under his breath, he said, I fucking hate this place. Like he was just emotional, right? Like I get it. Like you've had whatever. Post game, they interview him. They ask him, hey, did you say it? He could have said, no, I did not say that. They caught the thing was wrong, like bad lip reading type thing. But to his credit, he said, no, I did say it. I said that. I don't really hate this place. I actually love it here. I was just frustrated. I had a bunch of, emotions hitting me, and I said it. I shouldn't have said it, whatever. Fast forward to the next game. He pinch hits in the 8th inning. He comes up. They announce his name. The entire crowd gives him a standing ovation in Philly. So to me, that is... like, that's going to go miles for this kid. Like, he's going to, they didn't turn on him. They backed him. They supported him. To me, hat tip, curtain call to that because that's hard to do, and that's, credit to the fans for doing that. What you got, Floyd?
Absolutely. Sorry, I was typing. My curtain call, Alyssa Nakin. First woman to coach on the field in an MLB game. After, obviously somebody got ejected, but she gets the call up. She's allowed to go. She has worked her way up to be able to be the next coach up onto the field. A lot of people showed a lot of appreciation for her being able to get out there. Awesome thing for baseball, grow the game.
Dude.
Yes, grow the game. And there's another female coach for the Yankees, I believe. That's
Rachel.
That's
Who you
Rachel.
talking about?
Yeah.
She's a AA manager for the Yankees. Are you talking about in the big leagues?
Yeah, didn't she? I thought she may have gotten the call up also.
So Rachel's a AA manager. She was our strength coach at LSU. She coached under Moffit, like everything.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's who she was talking about. When he's talking about Rachel, she was here under him, She did some stuff with the baseball team. Now she is the AA manager for the Yankees, which is awesome. Like, she's the first female manager, which is great. And then you have a GM for the Marlins who's a female, the first female GM. So, like, there's trailblazers. So hat tip to all of them, because it's hard to do. It's a hard industry to jump into.
I mean, baseball is a boys' club.
Yep.
So it's
props,
pretty cool to see them breaking through.
Props to them. You got anything? Nothing?
Yeah, okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. I'll put you on the spot. You weren't supposed to have one, so.
Yeah, $10.
Yeah, you weren't on the spot. Yeah, it's okay.
Urban Meyer.
Yeah.
He's going back to
Yeah.
TV. Curtain call.
Our,
Wow.
The last segment before we go is what's for lunch, because it is lunchtime and we are starving. I am always hungry and I am still eating healthy. So what's for lunch? What do you feel like for lunch today?
I mean, are you gonna have water for lunch again?
No water.
I feel bad since Moffit's here that I'm thinking unhealthy. I was either thinking turkey burger from Curbside, or Mart, just a good, because then he brought Michael Clayton up,
Yeah.
and whenever I don't know why they're synonymous in my head, because whenever you walk into Mart, it has best sandwich in Baton Rouge, and it's like dash Michael Clayton,
Hey,
and Cajun turkey
I'm
on
down
pepper
with that.
jack.
I'm down with it. Maybe that's it. A.M. Mart. I like
Does
that.
that count
A.M.
as
Mart.
healthy?
Then what's for lunch segment is brought to you by Does Eat Place. We cut some new clips. We have some audio now with the commercials. Good.
We got to shoot that Doge commercial. That will be
We have it.
No.
The new one.
We got to go.
Oh, the Does.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna be there. We'll get it. I'll get it set up. But that's it. Great show. We are not doing Uncle Earl's this Friday. It is Good Friday. It is the Lord's weekend. We are not going to do that.
Good Friday was when he.
Oh, you really gonna do this?
Do you know?
Yeah, no. But what do you think it is?
I'm hoping it's called Good Friday, but it's not good at all, right? That's when they torched him.
Yes, and then he rose from dead on Sunday.
Sunday. So good Sunday, bad Friday.
Actually, I do have a curtain call.
Okay.
Mine is Jonte Cook, the second, a recruit. He's a 2023 recruit. He's been on a visit to Texas and Texas A&M recently.
Oh yeah.
And on both visits, he's like, "Bro, I haven't seen one football trophy." Like he's in the Texas trophy room.
Is he
he's
coming
like,
here?
I don't know, but he's
if you wanna
like,
see trophies,
he's looking
I
through
guess
the
you gotta
trophy
go out
room. He's
now,
like,
but-
"Bro, I don't see one trophy," and he's at Texas A&M,
He was and
and he's like getting dressed for his like photo shoot, and he's like, "I still ain't seen no football trophies."
Damn.
Like,
and then
I respect that.
one of the former players, a former safety from A&M, called him out. He was like, "Bro, you might as well take that jersey off." And he's just like, "Y'all still ain't won shit."
still ain't got a trophy.
I love that. Bro, you do me all this stuff. It's all glitz and glamour. Show me what you want.
He was looking.
Yeah.
He was on IG Live at Texas, and he's going through, and he goes, "Man, all this shit is swimming and diving."
And like the next video, he's like, "What y'all don't know is I'm on the swim team."
That's awesome. Hey, respect to him. That's
Respect.
great.
Yeah,
I love
respect.
that. I love
Call your
that.
shot.
And the schools need him. He's like a 5-star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no trophies. Come get a trophy over here.
Yeah.
Baton Rouge. I don't know if he's coming here.
We got
but no.
plenty.
We got plenty.
LSU's
Not as
on the
many as
list.
some, but we got plenty. More than most, not as many as some. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, they claim every single trophies since trophies were invented.
Who did that?
Bama.
Yeah. Well, especially since Nicky Boy's over there.
Well, no, but then they backdate them. They're like, oh, 1906 title. Like they played 2 games.
That doesn't count.
It does to them.
That doesn't count. But great
Cup of
show.
soup?
Unbelievable amount of interviews and
What is
clip.
that?
What is that?
Oatmeal. Oh, I thought it was a cup of
Nice. So
noodles.
easy and healthy.
Yeah.
Some clippable moments, a lot of clippable moments, a lot of interviews, a lot of stuff. If you missed it, if you didn't get it to us live and you want to see all the interviews or the clips, we're going to have them out on YouTube. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, share it. We are on all podcasts, Apple,
Facebook.
Spotify, not on Facebook. We are not on Facebook.
MySpace.
Yeah, Faceplace.
Faceplace. What's the other one?
But we appreciate everything. We appreciate the support. Growing. We need more followers. Appreciate all of our sponsors. You've been watching us. We are going to be off, like I said, not having Earls this Friday. We'll be back at Earls next Friday. Actually meeting with Earls today about doing some cool stuff for everybody. So we will have all of my gear, all the stuff, all the winners from the Masters pool. That will get sent out today. But I appreciate the support. Keep supporting, keep liking, keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep telling everybody about it. We're growing. You're growing with us. We appreciate it. You've been watching Mik'd Up. We are brought to you by Sterling Automotive, and we'll see you on Monday. Peace.